Thank you for tuning in to The Real Tea with T3. My name is Tesia Harris. I'm the team leader of Texas Trio Team, and I am so excited that you're with us today because we are going to start a new segment, and it's going to be going over the market update with some of our preferred lenders. So, hey guys, who are you?
I'm Chris Planto with Cross Country Mortgage, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm Joseph Medrano with Cross Country Mortgage also, and I'm happy to be here too.
Yeah, so we've had these guys on before, and so you may have seen that episode, and it's great to go back to it if you're a first-time home buyer or if you're just wanting to know more about the process. But what we decided to do was just come together one time a month, the last week of the month, and really talk about what is going on with the market. So you as a purchaser or maybe someone wanting to invest or build your net worth can know exactly what is going on in the market. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today.
Let's do it.
So I have seen, you guys are on social media too, and I've seen one of the things that it's always like the realtor go-to around Halloween. It's like, spooky, don't be scared of rates. So what's your feedback on rates right now?
So my feedback, here's what I'm thinking is, so we're seeing some of the lowest rates we've seen in the last couple of years. Yeah. The Fed recently dropped rates, and that did have a little bit of an impact on the rates that we see on the rate sheets. And we have seen the rates tick up a little bit since that occurred about a month ago, but the rates are still great. They're still phenomenal. And the long-term outlook is we're probably going to see lower rates before the end of the year and in next year as well. So the thing is that we haven't really seen much of a difference in home prices. We haven't seen them jump quite a bit. So I think that, as we see the rates come down, you're going to see more and more buyers into the market, which is going to create a lot more competition. And we run a buy now, refi later program. So there's no sense in sitting on the fence waiting for, rates to plummet, which they may or may not do, and encountering a lot of competition that you might not otherwise have. Seeing home prices rise, end up paying more for the same home 6 months from now than you could pay now, when we could just close your loan and then we do a streamlined refinance for you, waive all the lender fees, and get you into a lower rate.
Yeah, really on the real estate side, there's been a lot of projections about what's going to happen in 2025. And they're really actually projecting just nationally that there's going to be an increase in home prices. So the other spooky thing that's going on for the fall is the election. And so are you guys experiencing that feedback from your clients right now?
Joseph, you want to take that one?
Yeah, for sure. Things have slowed down quite a bit since the middle of the year. The summer was going well, and then as we get closer and closer to the election, people have kind of dropped off, and I guess they're just waiting by the sidelines to see what happens. But that's kind of what I'm seeing, and I don't know if that's typical in a election year.
I'm seeing a lot of people, dipping their toes back in the market, getting back out there, looking at homes. And, I don't think that the election should be a barrier to entry, for someone who's wanting to buy a home that needs to upsize, downsize, sell, get into some equity that they've got, pay off other debts or whatever, or, change locations, school districts or whatever. I think now's the perfect time to buy a home because, again, the rates are essentially the lowest that we've seen in 2 years. And that's pretty phenomenal. And so what are we going to benefit from by waiting? Maybe home prices, probably home prices go up and interest rates maybe come down a little bit. For me, it's like if I'm wanting to buy another home, I would take action now before home prices rise, because if you look at the potential for rates to come down maybe 0.5%, but home prices to go up maybe 3 to 5% over the same 6-month time frame. That differential in price points are actually going to wind up costing you more on a monthly basis than the 0.5% mortgage rate savings. So to me, it's buy now. If you have a reason and a need to purchase another home for whatever reason, you're busting at the seams because you've had a couple more kids since you bought your last home, or you need to be in a different area of town because you got a job change and you're commuting and driving an hour each way. make that move, take that next step. And if the rates do come down into next year, we'll just refinance your loan, and we'll do it very inexpensively too. Again, we'll waive all the lender fees, streamline it. We'll be servicing your loan, so we can just, we can do it very light doc without much hassle at all. Take you about an hour or so, all in, from the docs that we need to the signing of the closing docs. It's super simple. So don't let rates be a deterrent for you. Get out there and get yourself a new home. Do it.
And one of the things that is going to be happening here probably in the next month, and I know we'll probably talk about it in our next month's episode with each other, but tax bills are going to start coming out. So do you have any recommendations for anybody to prepare early for that?
Sure. So again, if you bought a home this year, please make sure that you filed your homestead exemption. It's super simple. So for example, if you're in Washington County, just go to washingtoncounty.org, and the homestead exemption form is on the website. You can quickly fill it out, email it over, and get that exemption put in place. I can't tell you how many times, folks have called and said, hey, my taxes went up drastically, from 2023 to 2023 to 2024. And I said, hey, did you file that homestead exemption? I make it a point to inform my clients about this, both during the process, my post-closing phone call. I email them the form, and it's super simple. Like, there's ample opportunity to take advantage of this and get it done, which will keep your taxes lower. And then always reach out to the Trio team also to get them to take a look at market data and values, because that could potentially help you protest your taxes and save money on your taxes as well. So definitely be sure to do those two things.
Yeah, and most counties, we're covering about 16 counties outside of Houston, and I know you guys are kind of doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so every county is different. So when you receive it, it's going to be a little different each, depending on the workload that they have. But this is now the time to start looking and decide, do I need to protest? Who do I need to contact? And so that's why you can reach out to your lender point of contact, your real estate agent, like he said, and just say, what do I do next? And then a great resource is the title company that you closed at as well. They can help you with those documents. And I couldn't agree more that a lot of the times, depending on when the closing took place, those documents can be done then. But you're exactly right. People start thinking about it, and then you just definitely want to make sure it's taken care of before the end of the year.
That's right. 100%.
So talking about all the spooky stuff that we've been diving into, what about new constructions? I know that there's such a lack of inventory of homes that are on the market. It's been like that consecutively, but there's supposed to be an increase in that. But a lot of builders have their preferred lender partner. So how can you guys offer somebody something if they want to do a new construction that is in competition with that?
Right. So we have a builder division, and essentially that does have, we have some preferred pricing that we provide our clients with on builder deals to compete with the builder's in-house lender. It really kind of boils down to what that in-house lender or that builder is providing and whether or not we can compete with it. But I will tell you, I closed a couple of new construction deals last week. I've got 5 or 6 in processing that are slated to close out before the end of the year. We compete very, very well. And so most clients, it's like I pre-approve somebody, and maybe they're starting out shopping for existing homes. They switch gears, decide that they want a new home. And then that in-house lender is touting this or touting that and saying, hey, we'll get you this, we'll get you that. And sometimes I'll hear from that client. They'll say, hey, they're offering me this, can you match it or can you beat it? And in many cases we can. It's those clients that don't communicate that to me, the lender, that I can't help. In other words, if they just go in there and they get the lasso, around their neck at the builder's sales office and, like, hey, this is this and this is that, they've got to communicate. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned that to folks from the onset, like, hey, this is what you could be confronted with if you're looking at new construction. And sometimes it's a good deal, but most of the time it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. In other words, hey, we're going to give you $10,000 in lender credits and incentives. And that sounds really great, doesn't it? Right? $10,000 free money. But a lot of times what happens is they're baking that into the purchase price of the home. So that client is actually effectively paying more for that home to get that incentive back, because there's really no free money, right? I mean, it's not, somebody's not going to walk up to you on the street and give you $10,000 just for being a nice guy or whatever, I mean, it's baked in there. So what I have a lot of real estate agents do that I work with, that I partner with, that are out helping these homeowners or home buyers is really get to the bottom line, run the comps, figure out, what the home is truly worth, and then build upon that. And we can a lot of times be the lender and utilize those same incentives, but basically stripping away all the fluff, all the fugazi, and just, getting down to the bottom line. What is the home truly worth? And then there's also scenarios where it's like, hey, we're going to give you 10 grand, but your rate's going to be a point higher than market. The client doesn't really know that. And they're not saying that, but that's what the reality is. I can't tell you how many loan estimates I've seen from these builders in-house lenders that are just offering a horrible deal. It's not good. It's not good for the client at all. So they definitely need to get a second opinion. And we're here to do that on a daily basis. No problem.
Right. And I think it's just so important for consumers to realize that you need that representation. And so whether that be for your finances with the lending side or on the real estate side, because a lot of the times you go in and you go into the sales office, you may not realize that you can have representation and you really want that. I mean, it's like going into a medical procedure and then hoping that they have the credentials,
right.
And so I think it's so wise to contact a real estate agent before you walk into the sales office, or at least inform them from the very first get-go, like, hey, I have a realtor that's working with me. So that communication's open.
Right.
And then also whenever you guys have your consultations as well, is like, you're probably informing them of that so they can cross-reference and make sure that they're making the best decision.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know. It just came to me. So it's like, let's say that you're sitting in an interrogation room and the cops are like, hey, it's this and it's that. But you're like, hey, I reserve my right to be silent. I want an attorney. Well, the attorney's going to come in there and kind of straighten everything out. Same as a real estate agent, where you walk in there just Joe Blow off the street, like, nah, I'm here, I'm hoping I can save some money by not using a real estate agent. It's not true. You won't be able to, because these are large companies a lot of times, the Lennars, the Stylecrafts, they've got a huge marketing budget, which they utilize to compensate real estate agents. And so you're not going to get a better deal by not utilizing a buyer's agent for your new home purchase. You're going to get a better deal because that realtor has got your back, looking out for you. That sales guy just wants to close another deal. That's all he wants, he or she. So when you have a realtor who's truly got your back, they're going to make sure that you don't overpay, that you don't get taken advantage of. And, again, back to my attorney example, it's just, you need somebody that is knowledgeable and confident and can make sure that you're covered, from soup to nuts, start to finish.
And I think the biggest thing is, like, buyers need to communicate with their agents that they were working with or the lender that they were working with. A lot of times what I see is, as soon as they start talking to these new construction places, is that they completely cut everyone off because they're convinced, like, I don't need you guys anymore. I have this deal going and it's a great deal because I have a low interest rate, or I'm getting $10,000.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's exactly right.
I mean, what consumers need to realize is the sales office at the builder's office is representing the builder. Like, they're not representing you. And so, yes, they make you feel great and make you feel good. And yes, they probably have an amazing product. But at the end of the day, for your purpose and your needs, like, you need that representation. I'm glad we're all in alignment on that.
Most definitely. Yeah. And a lot of people think, that, hey, if I start, if I bring in my lender or I bring in my realtor, it's going to hurt my chances of getting this home. Mm-hmm. And that's not true. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, they have a product they want to sell you, they have a product that you want to purchase, right? So we've got agreeable parties that, one wants to sell, one wants to buy, but it's a matter of working out those terms so that it's in the buyer's favor, not the builder's favor. Right. Because, there's many communities, there's many homes for sale, there's lots of opportunity, and you as the buyer, you got the cookie. You're holding the bag, and they need you to go through in order for them to sell a home and get paid. And your realtor is going to help guide you through that process to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of and that you don't have buyer's remorse because you later find out that, there was a rug pull somewhere or some smoke and mirrors that shysted you into getting a much better deal than you could have had otherwise with representation.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you do just because you've done new construction loans and stuff like that. But when you have those, and I know Kendra and I have talked about it on other episodes as well, but, we have like our forms that we're putting everything on is on the Texas Real Estate Commission, like promulgated agreements. And so a lot of the times with the builder, they're going to have their own contracts that they're doing, and they may be
love them.
They're so fun.
They're so lengthy,
uber fun. They had a lawyer go in and prepare a document on behalf of the builder that they're going to use over and over. And so you want somebody that has experience to read through those agreements, see what timelines look like, stipulations, and all those things. And so just those are very important to have somebody on to have your back.
It's so true. So when you think about it, a real estate contract for a resale transaction is 12 pages plus a 2-page third-party financing addendum. So it's basically 14 pages, and there may be an additional, MUD addendum or this addendum or that addendum or whatever. But these typical builders, I'm seeing 40 to 50-page long documents. So you got to think that the client who's purchasing the home, they're not coming in with a real estate attorney that's looking over this. But as a realtor, you've got the designations and the knowledge and the know-how because you've taken the classes and got the certifications, and you can really help guide someone through that process where you're working for them. They're not, the builder in these cases are paying the commission. And so why not have somebody looking out for your best interest that can decipher that 50-page plus document with all that fine print that you got to literally, get a little microscope on, to read through, that there could be something lurking in there that's gonna bite you. So
Right. Just reading through the fine print, and our clients are going through, they're working, they're running their families around and doing all the stuff, all the busy life stuff, and that's why you're getting that person, your advocate to do that grunt work for you.
Exactly.
That's right.
And then also, as we are preparing to go into November, just to kind of stay ahead of the game, is veterans. We've got Veterans Day coming up. We're a military family, like our team. All of the members have military, active and or retired and or, just had gotten out. And, I'm sure you guys do too. And so that's just really something that we're very, very passionate about.
Absolutely.
And I know that you guys are really big on VA loans, but it's so scary to a lot of realtors to offer that on their listings and to their clients.
It is. And it's simply because some listing agents and there's just some folks out there that don't truly understand VA loans. There's a misconception that the appraisers are tougher on the appraisals, which is really a misconception. It's like any appraiser. They're just looking to make sure that the home is habitable for this veteran's family. And that's also done on conventional loans and FHA and USDA loans as well. And so the VA loan truly is the easiest loan on the planet to qualify for. We've done thousands, we've helped thousands of veterans with their financing, and to celebrate our veterans, because we love working VA loans. I just closed one this morning. I've got another one closing early next week. We specialize in VA loans, and we're going to be giving $1,000 lender credit to every veteran that applies in the month of November, no matter when they eventually close on a home. So hit us up. Not only we got the lowest rates on VA loans, but we're also going to give you $1,000 to help offset some closing costs, on top of just making it a great experience with your home loan needs. So that's what we want to do.
So if they want to, lean into that and do that, is it best to go on your website, email you?
Absolutely. So you can email me at chris.planto@ccm.com. My phone number is 832-731-6560. And my website's homeloanapprovals247.com. And that home loan approvals is plural.
Perfect. That'll be really good. And so, that's really important. And so, we'll be sure to share that on our social media too, that you guys are offering that incentive. But I agree with you. There's so many times that I'll be talking to someone and they're like, oh, such and such is a veteran. And, they said that they couldn't use their VA loan more than once. And I'm like, that's not true. Like, stop sharing that.
Yes, exactly. There's no limit to the number of times that you can use your VA benefits for a home loan purchase. In fact, you could have a home with a VA loan on it now and qualify still for another home purchase utilizing your VA benefits. Now, we're going to have a conversation, check out the remaining eligibility, of course, and take a look at a couple of things for you. But it's like we recently closed a client that had a $300,000 VA loan outstanding, and he planned to retain that property and rent it out because he was paying like 2% interest on it, a rate that we're not seeing today. But he went and he purchased like a $450,000 home utilizing his VA benefits, and we did 100% financing for him.
I wish that was something that a lot more people knew about, is not just VA, but just overall for your financing. We heard for such a long time that it's like, my interest rate was so good, I don't want to move, so on and so forth. But it's like, why are you not leaning into your equity and what you've built and going and buying other properties or go out and do other financial investments for your net worth?
Exactly. That's another thing too, is that, so it's like, a lot of people refied their home or maybe purchased homes, back in the COVID era, right? So, a lot of people are sitting on a lot of equity and they've got a reason to move. They've had a couple more kids. I mean, I talked to a fellow the other day. We were on a Zoom call and he's sitting in his daughter's room with the Barbie castle next to him on his desk. I'm like, John, are you grown out of space there? You definitely, I'm glad we're talking, and because you clearly need more space, and so a lot of people do have, 6 figures plus, equity in their home. And it's a great opportunity to, take some of that equity, put it away for the kids' college funds, invest it into other real estate, pay off higher interest credit cards, just set yourself up better financially and get that home you dream of.
That's great. So for VA loans too, like I always try to say it when we're talking about VA loans, but you can utilize your VA loan, you can use it again, and then, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can use it again to buy investment properties as well after, or turn it into an investment property. So
you can turn it into an investment property. When you originally purchase, it's got to be a primary residence. But, it's like I've got a few veterans that are also real estate investors, and every couple of years, they'll reach out, hey, I'm ready to buy my next home. And they'll take that home that they have that we did VA financing on, and they'll turn that into an investment property, and then I'll help them buy their next home.
Right. And then, I know you guys aren't doing it because it's more of like a government program, but in Texas, you can utilize the Veterans Land Board. So you can have your homestead, investment properties, and land all, encompassed in, your service that you've gave to our country.
The Veterans Land Board is a really, really cool product because, hey, it's only in Texas.
I know.
Texas Veterans Land Board. So you can do a home improvement loan up to $50,000, no down payment required. And the rate is smoking low on that. So let's say that you have bought a home, you've got a home, and you wanted to get a home improvement loan to do some improvements to your home. You can take out that loan. And if you wanted to buy some land to eventually build on, or, go hunting, fishing or whatever, just a weekend retreat, you could do that as well. And then they do have the home loan as well through the Veterans Land Board. And the rates are generally pretty good. They're generally pretty good, but our rates are better. So generally what I'll do is I'll stack up the VLB loan versus our in-house VA loan. And it's pretty easy to see that usually we're about 1/4 to 3/8 better in terms of the rate. So I really think that the VLB is perfect for folks looking to do a home improvement loan or land.
Yeah. So diving into what's going on in the market. So like I said, we cover multiple counties. So I've pulled 6, and I want to, lean into you guys in the comments or, on our social media channels if you see this. We're going to cover the main ones that we're usually in. And then if there's a particular one we didn't cover and you want to see it, let us know. And we'd be happy to do the research so you can watch next month and, see what we're doing. So Washington County. So this is just... There's a steady demand in prices that we've seen, being here. And there's a mix of like historic charm, and then there's new constructions that are coming out into the area. We're seeing those builders pop up. So it's actually increased, but the average sales price is about 410,000. And then the average days on market is about 60 days. So what are your guys' thoughts on that for for Washington County?
I mean, I think it's a hot market. I think it's a great opportunity to get out of the city and come on out here where life is just better. It's just better. And to get in at a very good price point. And I think that the days on market, 60 days, that's not bad. That's, we have seen in the past several years, we've seen days on market quite a bit less. And so, under 30 days, under 15 days.
And I'm trying to think of when it was, but there was at one point, not that long ago that it was 45 days on market, and now we're at 60. So, if you're thinking about selling and you're in this area, these are just things to think about,
Right.
when you're pricing and what strategy you do with your real estate agent.
Exactly. It's a great opportunity. It's a great time to sell, and it's a great time to buy. And I think that into next year, we're going to see the average days on market potentially drop down to 30 to 35 days.
Yeah, especially if prices go up and people start following that trend of seeing that and maybe interest rates go down a little bit, that, it's just going to be really, really competitive.
Exactly.
It is.
And so for Waller County, not too many miles away from us, where Buc-ee's is and all the fun happens.
What are you waiting for? Get there as quick as you can.
Well, yeah, to stay there for hours and hours. It's fine. So their average days on market is about 50 to 55 days. So Waller County is really has a boom in industrial. You had Daikin and all that come in. And then, so you see a lot of those industrial buildings out there. So a lot of first-time home buyers are going over in that area, or just job relocation. And then their average home price has increased to about $380,000.
That's good.
Yeah, that's terrific. And I'll throw this out there too. So Waller really it's a great area. You're out of the hustle and bustle. There's like no traffic out there. And it's up and coming. As it continues to grow, and there are effective programs out there that are bringing more folks out to Waller. Like, for example, we have a census tract program for the Waller area where it's specialized pricing because we're trying to do community development and get more people out there. And the interest rate's actually 0.5% below market rate. And that's huge.
That's
for anybody
incredible.
Considering Waller, hit me up, because literally if you're looking at a place here in Brenham, for example, versus Waller, and you're torn, that rate can make the difference.
Right.
Absolutely. So the Aggie fans are going to love it. It's going to be Brazos County is where we're going to cover next. So traffic is crazy with the Aggie games
It is.
picked up. So obviously Texas A&M University is there. And so it brings a steady interest of just residential and or rental properties over in the area. So Bryan College Station is this average sales price is hovering at about $340. Not that long ago, it was about $345. So there's been a decrease. And then the average days on market is about 45 days.
Okay. All right. That's just a great market area, in my opinion, for buying investment properties.
That's right.
Yeah.
It really, really is. There is substantial opportunity. Those homes stay rented. And, it's just, so we've helped a lot of clients personally with investment property purchases out there in College Station.
We
I've
have
got
too,
a couple in
yeah.
processing right now. I own a home out there personally that my son and his roommates live in. case in point. So, they're covering my mortgage and, but there's lots of duplexes too that are really great opportunities at the price point and it's a great opportunity to be cash flow positive. Not only have someone paying your mortgage for you, but also to have a little positivity in your bank account, so to speak.
Yeah. And so then bouncing kind of back to Waller County, and then just in that corridor of Highway 6 and 290, you've got Prairie View University right there. There's a lot of multiplexes.
That's a great place too. That's a great area.
And then so also A&M, I know like Kendra would be in agreement with me that a lot of our clients, same thing, parents that are buying for their kids, or maybe they've had it for a long period of time and they're like, I think I actually want to sell this. But investors are usually out of state that are coming in. I've had a lot of investors that have contacted and said, hey, my kid's going there and I want to buy it just so we don't have to pay those high rental amounts.
Exactly. I mean, I just did it again with my daughter out in Georgia. I bought an investment property out there. She and her 3 roommates occupied, back in September, and I'm like $300 cash flow positive each month, but my daughter's staying there for free, and the other girls are covering the mortgage note. And again, to me, if it was just covered, I'd be happy. Even if I was at a deficit of $100 or $200, I wouldn't be unpleased with that. Because again, I'd have to pay roughly $1,000 a month for my daughter to live out there, so I wouldn't really look at it as a deficit at that point. But I'm actually making money off that, and that can easily be duplicated, rinse and repeat. Out here in Prairie View and out in Brazos Valley as well.
Right. And the other thing is to just kind of toss around that we can conversate about is about, first time home buyers that are still looking. It's still really tough. And because, when you're in those competitive markets where investors have their hands and, kind of what the market's doing, makes it really hard. So you want those advocates like us and like you guys over across country, like of, where might be the place that's close to the university you're at, or maybe like where your first job is or something like that. To determine, because not that far away from Brazos County is actually is Grimes County.
Right.
So Navasota has really popped up, as like their downtown has really spruced up. More restaurants are coming in and things to do. It's really they have like festivals and things like that downtown. So their average days on market's looking at about 70 days. And then their average sales price is about $315,000. So, just kind of looking at the difference between the two, $340 and $315. If you're on a budget, not that far. Yeah.
Not that bad of a drive either.
Yeah, Navasota is a great area. I mean, it's very easy to get into, Brenham from there, get out to College Station from there, and and obviously with the price point, I mean, you get a little bit more home for your money, and let's face it, I mean, there's a lot of development out there with, more restaurants and more entertainment, and, it's up and coming. I mean, it's booming. Now's the time to get in there before these developments establish and home prices go up.
Right. And it's really kind of a web, like a map we've created, just kind of what we're talking about here, because, Grimes County also encompasses like Plantersville and all that, those back roads, but they've got the Aggie Tollway coming in, and then they've got 249 that expanded out. So your commute is becoming a lot easier for everything. And so Montgomery County is one that we cover a lot of. And so their days on market's about 40 days. So a lot quicker. You got the Woodlands, all those activities to do. And then their average sales price is about $450,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great area. I do a lot of financing out in Montgomery County, a lot. And I mean, it's just, I love it out there because of, the quick access to the mall and all the amenities. I mean, and the food. I mean,
oh my gosh!
I mean, you got thousands of restaurants to choose from.
I went to to have lunch with a friend not that long ago, and there's a new place that she wanted to go to, so we went, and there's parking garages, and so I was like trying to map like to get to this place. And the downtown, like this guy comes outside and he was like, "Oh, are you lost?" And he's like, "Those maps get you lost on your phones all the time."
Yeah.
And so he's like, and he was like a security guy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, yeah, do you know how to get there? And he's like, yeah, I have this map. And so he pulls out the map of the mall that I was at. And then he was like,
Like an actual map?
an actual map, like a brochure. So get this is the best part. So then I was just like, oh yeah, that's where I need to go. Can I get that map so I know where to walk? And he was like, no.
This is my only
No,
map.
It's his only map.
I've had this
is
since
my map.
1984.
And I was like, and he had like a stack behind him. And I'm like, oh, you want me to buy something to get the map?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
That's it.
Good salesman.
Yeah. And so that is for the high-end buyer. High-end seller is going to be out in Montgomery County. And so if you need a map, go see that guy.
That's right.
All right. And so the last one on our list is actually going to be Austin County. So a little bit further out from Washington County here. So their average days on market is about 75 days. Farm and ranch, rural property. But their average sales price is about $355,000. So what are your thoughts on Austin County?
So I love Austin County. I think it's tremendous out there. We see more unique properties. It's just more diverse, right? You've got large acreage homes, you've got manufactured homes, you got single family residents, you got a whole mixture. But I really like the town. I personally just love it out there. I think it's pretty chill and laid back, and it's fun to walk out there, and just walk around at all the shops, and there's a lot of great eateries out there, and I think you can really get a good mix, for somebody who doesn't quite know what they want, but they want to be in that market area because it's close proximity to their job or whatever. It just gives them a lot to choose from.
Yeah, and we have just covered so many prices, days on market, kind of like if you have heard horror stories in this time of year of like, I don't want to be in a bidding war. I don't know what to do.
Right,
now you
right.
kind of have an overview of what is going on in certain marketplaces that aren't that far from each other. So if you're wanting proximity or to school, to work, wherever that is, and even just having proximity to hospitals and restaurants and all of that. So it's just going to depend on what you want. And that's what we do at Texas Trio Team is we're sitting with you in that initial consultation. We don't want to be that Pop-Tart agent that's going up and, you call us and say, I want to see a house, and we don't understand where you are. We want to meet you where you are and get you in contact with lenders that are, going to be your advocates too. So before we close out, I went to a car dealership yesterday. I was getting my car serviced, and I've always felt as if cars is very similar to homes whenever it comes to sales. And so I like talking to the sales folks and kind of seeing what's going on in their world. And, the guy was like, I've been doing this 12 years and I've never had so many people that are just like, I'm waiting till the election is over. I'm waiting till interest rates. I'm waiting. This is what all of his lead flow is telling him when they come in.
Yeah.
So are you guys kind of getting that feedback as well on your end?
So I know Joseph mentioned that he's seeing that a bit. I'm seeing that a bit too. I mean, I talk with a lot of clients on a daily basis. I've got a lot of folks that are pre-approved and looking. I've got a lot of folks that are on the fence that are pre-approved. And then I've got a lot of folks that are just taking action right now. They're seeing that there's great opportunity right now. And I mean, the election's going to come and it's going to go. And, and the world is still going to be here and everything's going to be all right.
And everybody still needs a house.
Roof over their head. It's like, if you're a first time buyer and you're like, I'm going to hold off, I'm going to renew my lease for a year. Don't do that. I mean, you need a roof over your head. Purchase a home. Don't rent. Don't throw your money away on rent. There's all kinds of tax advantages with home ownership that you can take advantage of, likely pay less on a mortgage than you're paying on rent. Plus, we do have programs that are available with up to 100% financing. So really saying that, hey, I don't have the money, or, I can't do this or I can't do that, it's not really a good excuse that you should be selling yourself on and buying into year after year when it comes time to renew that lease. Stop putting that off. Stop procrastinating. Take action and give us a call and let's talk through it and let's develop a customized game plan for you. Because literally we can get you into a new home, whether it's brand new or an existing home, for less than it would cost you to go out and rent a new place, meaning first month's security deposit, first month's rent, call it $4,000 on a, what would be maybe a $200,000 home. We can get you into a property for half that, less than half that. So give us a call.
Maybe.
Explore your options.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, with our grant money and our down payment assistance programs, we have a lot of our clients that are walking away from closing with their earnest money deposit.
That's nice. So just kind of want to dive in before we close things out today about, say somebody's watching and they're like, okay, I like that area. I'm glad they talked about that. That's kind of what I want to do. Maybe they've had credit cards that, like, just because of the inflation and everything, the cost of living overall, whether you're renting or you own, like, it's just so expensive right now to just live.
Seriously.
For real. So people may be a little gun shy. Like, they're like, everything is so expensive right now. And I racked out my credit cards, or
Right.
I had a medical situation and I think this is going to impact me. If that happened to somebody, yes, you're going to have credit report program or credit programs for them. But when is a good time? Like, how long would you say? Like, if you know those are things, credit is a problem, or maybe job history is a problem, that they can come to you guys and feel pretty solid about what they're presenting.
So, I mean, I always recommend to folks when their goal is to purchase a home, they need to understand, or I want to help folks understand, that you don't need to come to me or Joseph and be ready to pull the trigger and get pre-approved today and buy a home tomorrow. You know, I've got a lot of folks. I actually just closed a loan for some folks that it's been a year in the making. I mean, they called me, they had some credit repair issues. I worked with them personally to help them boost their credit scores up. Over the course of about 6 months, we got credit scores up about 100 points. We were able to get them approved for a down payment assistance loan. And I mean, they were just super, super pleased. And it all worked out with the timeline. They were like, hey, we just signed a new lease and our lease is up, coming up in September. And so we just recently closed them, or excuse me, it was October. And we just recently closed them. They're in their new home, loving life, and didn't have to renew that lease because they knew they had some issues, but they consulted with a professional, myself, got a game plan together that we literally dialed in and executed on, and had standing monthly calls every single month, every first Tuesday of the month. We had calls and made sure we were on track and checked in with each other. And that's what I do for a lot of my clients is I'll get a game plan geared. Because no people are alike. No two people need exact or have the same exact things or have the same goals or vision, or, everybody's unique is what I'm trying to say. Let's customize a game plan tailored for your needs.
Right. You don't have to have it together to come to us. Like, we'll work with you full and through.
And it doesn't matter the price point, doesn't matter where you are, and you'll meet them where they are. And
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Same goes for us. So any final comments or anything that you guys want to share with anybody before we sign off today?
So veterans, give us a call. We're gonna help you get into that new home, save you $1,000 on closing costs. Anybody who's looking to upsize, downsize, and considering what their options are, please give us a call. And if you're a first-time home buyer, just nervous about entering the home purchase market and going away from, the safe, just, hey, sign a new lease, give us a call. Let's talk about that. Let's explore your options. We'd love to help you.
He covered it all. He stole the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, you guys are a great duo. That's awesome. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you would like to reach out to us and maybe explore your options, what purchasing or selling would look like for you, maybe even investing. We love helping veterans, but we love helping every purchaser and seller. Like if you're looking at any of the markets we discussed, and again, we cover a lot more. So if there's somewhere that you want to learn about, hit us in the comments or reach out to us at texastrioteam.com. So take care and keep living your best life.